Well, hello YouTube, back in the shop. So if you guys remember, I did this elevator a while back and then I started on the tail cone so I can make sure that I can get this out of here before my wings showed up. And we are done with the tail cone. I still got to torque these down, but you know, that's okay. It's okay. So what I need to do now is get back on this last elevator. I've got to pro seal this trailing edge. This is a trailing edge because this is the back of the elevator. So I got to pro seal that. I got my marks set up so my foam wedges, if you guys remember, we have to place these foam wedges in there to support. So we pro seal those in. So I got those marked. So here is the elevator trim. And I've got this out. I do have to do some match drilling. We have to do some countersinking here on this skin, and then we'll get this pro sealed. And so that's the goal today. Nothing major. I will have to say I do have my pro seal, so there's a couple new tools. And when we get there, I'll show you. So I got the pro seal there, and I also got a pro seal gun to apply it. And then I've got a stirrer for that guy. But like I said, when we get to that point, I will be sure to show you. So I got a lot to do today. So we can get this done and get this going. It's got to cook for about 2 days. So I would like to get this done and let it cook over the weekend. And I will be back. And as you guys know, plane's not going to build itself. So I got to get to work. All right, YouTube. So putting the next piano hinge in to the to the elevator here. Now, a couple things I'm doing differently that I did on the other one, and I might redo the other one. I don't know yet. I have to make that decision. So one thing that I've been reading is when working with piano hinges, you want to keep them together as much as possible. Or you want to have a piece in there that keeps them from deflecting. If you guys remember when I did the other elevator, I had an issue when I put them finally together and mated them up. It was binding a little bit. So in my reading, it was saying that you always keep them together. In other words, you always keep them paired up. You don't split them apart and then do one and do the other like I did and then made them later and hope they made up. So I'm keeping them together. I do have extra piano hinge. There's one down there. And so I'll always keep them mated because of course we got to rivet these, but when you rivet, you also rivet them with them mated as well, instead of just taking the rod out. And when I say taking the rod out, I mean, let me just show you, doing this. This is the mistake I made the first time, is I took the pin out and then I riveted these together without them mated. So this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep them mated. And they said that will help in the binding. So, you do your 1/4 inch in, 1/4 inch out, you drill your hole, set. Now I drew a line. So I did a 1/4 inch up and I drew a line. And then I lined my line up in the center. Now the other way that too is if you look at this edge, it should not be protruding. It should be equal to. So that's how you know that these are in a line, is if the edge is equal to, and each one is. Yeah, I tested it and checked it. And they're perfectly done. And then I would recommend you also get some of these clamps. You're gonna need them anyways. Go ahead and get them from your favorite box store or Harbor Freight. And clamp to help hold as you're drilling, because you don't want these sloppy as you're drilling, because it will actually get out of alignment, right? Because you're not actually flush to the point. So get your clamps out and clamp these every other one, and as you go, every other one cleco. And so now I'm going to finish drilling this one out. I'm going to put the pin back in though, finish drilling it out, and then we will proceed on riveting this one up. And like I said, I'm thinking about redoing the other one because it had that little bit of a bind. I got it out, and the way that I got it out is I actually cleaned up where it was binding on these pins because it was out of alignment or whatever. So I kind of took a Dremel and cleaned them up. I don't know if that's okay. I don't know. You know, I want perfection, right? We want perfection. So I think what I might do is pop that other one off and then redo it now that I know how to do this. So there you go. So let me proceed, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, YouTube. So we got the hinge, and look, that's a lot better. No binding, nothing. That works great. Now, one of the things that will aggravate you is this thing will want to flip over all the time. What I found is the best way to do it is just keep this, your yoke here, and that will keep it from flipping over. And then just go down, you know, don't pull your yoke out and grab another rivet. Just, it's a two-hand operation. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you're using your set, make sure you have the longer set on this side, because you have to clear this ridge right here. There's a ridge, so you have to clear that ridge. So use the longest set on the inside. If you don't, what you'll do, I didn't do it, I caught myself, but you possibility could squeeze this, could squeeze that, and then, you know, things will be bad. You know, but yeah, other than that, obviously keeping this hinge on so far has provided, this is really no binding whatsoever. I mean, that's just incredible. So now what I have to do, and so you guys don't know, this is the old one. So I did cut the rivets out of this. It was monotonous, but we got the rivets cut out and everything. And so I am redoing it. So this is the old one that we did before, and the one that was somewhat binding, and this is just, you know, looking, you know, that is just smooth. There is no bind in that. Now, the proof in the pudding, right, is going to be attaching the actual the trim tab to this and see if we can keep this. And there is a secret to that, because everybody's like, well, wait a minute, if you put the trim tab, how are you going to get your squeezer in there? Are you going to have to bucket? No. What you do is you get, like I said, these are extruded. That's what makes them aircraft grade. These are extruded, so they're precise to each other. So you can use different ones. So what I'm going to do is pull this out. This is already marked, and this is for the elevator. So I'm going to pull this out, and then I'm going to use this one as the sacrificial, just like this one down here. It's going to replace. You guys will see that in a minute, and then we'll get the elevator squeezed in and ready to rock and roll. All right, so we did the same thing. Like I said, we got this in line, every other one using my clips. And this is beautiful. It's just amazing. There's no bind whatsoever. That hinge is moving well, but the proof is in the pudding. I got to finish drilling out the rest of them. And then, oh, the reason why I have these clips on is, if you remember, I pro sealed inside here, and I don't want it. This has got a lot of spring to it. If you guys look, I'll go to this one here. It's got a ton of spring to it, just natural spring. And I don't want it to break away from that Pro Seal. I don't think it will. Pro Seal is pretty tough stuff. It's what they use to seal up airplanes, to pressurize them. So it's pretty tough stuff. But I got these clips in there just in case, you know, to keep it from springing open. So, all right, so I got to drill out the rest of them, and then we'll get it riveted. And then, you know, we'll do the final test, see if it works. All right, so we got it, made it back up, and I will tell you, full range of motion. No, there's no binding. It's not binding, what I would call binding. It's just, it's got full range of motion. So it's a lot better than what it was. Even though, like I said, what I had to do to fix it before is I had to go in here and kind of cut a little bit off of that. This way, I know nothing's been altered, or the hinges are, so this is definitely the best way to go when putting that elevator flap, trim tab on, is to leave these pieces attached. Now, obviously, I got to pull this out. I got to cut these. I'm supposed to cut these before, but it's all right. I got a Dremel, no big deal. So we'll Dremel these and everything, and get them flush with the flush with the piece here. So yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, that lines up. Isn't that beautiful? How that lines up. Yeah, just beautiful. So, all right, so I'll wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and use, I already have this already made up. So I'll just go ahead after I get those pieces cut and trimmed to the side here. I'll go ahead and then reattach that, and then we'll call it a day. Actually, I got to get on and get, I want to get some Pro Seal in today. So we'll see. But we're bumping up against our 2 hours in the shop. Actually, I think we've been here about 3 hours. So, so I don't know. Might just have to wait until tomorrow. You know, like I said, I start doing stupid things after about 2 to 3 hours. So, so I think getting this cut and getting this section done will be a good stopping point. But we'll see.